The Batman movie, rumoured to have added spectacle. That is the headline on today's Movie Burner News, and I'm joined, as always, with John here. And this is coming in from comicbook.com, John, in regards to Matt Reeves' The Batman movie, which is certainly getting a bit of regurgitation at the moment in regards to scripts and who's directing it and all sorts of things and release dates, which is kind of peeving off a few DC fans. But listen, I read this article in regards to where they are trying to go with the character itself, in regards to going back to sort of the origins of Bruce Wayne / Batman being the ultimate detective.
Yeah, the greatest detective, yeah.
Somewhere in between movies such as Seven and The Dark Knight, which intrigues me. What's your thoughts on that, John?
That'd be very intriguing, Stephen. That'd be something I'd be delighted to see. Obviously, we've seen that detective side of him in the games like Arkham Asylum, where he goes into full-on detective mode. He actually uses his detective skills to find clues and stuff like that. And that was very intriguing, seeing that side of a character. A side that I personally haven't seen, because I didn't see the classic sort of Adam West Batman iteration from back in the 1960s, where he's kicking about in Lycra. I've never seen that. The first Batman I seen was obviously Michael Keaton's Batman in 1990 and 1989. And there was hints of that in that character, but not a great deal. It was very much more just shaking off the campiness, getting into the darker, grittier side of this alter ego figure, and just the even darker, grittier side of the villains that he's taking on.
It does say that in the article, John. It does say, Michael Keaton's was the most balanced Batman, and Ben Affleck's was the most realistic. And I did say when I was reading this review, that is bang on the money as far as I'm concerned. I thought Michael Keaton's iteration of the character
one of my favourites,
was the turning point for the sheer look, and not just for the Batman character, but for comic book characters.
It's shaking off the campy 60s look, Stephen, and giving it an edginess, giving it that more realistic vibe with the actual proper sort of a metallic suit. It obviously wasn't metal, but a darker, more realistic looking suit that could take some of the damage that real life would throw at it. And also we've seen that progress. Sometimes it took a dip, obviously Batman and Robin a couple of years later, that was just horrendous with the bat nipples and stuff. But for the most part it's gathered on and improved very much since that 1989 release. But look, I would love to see a more detective side of a character. It'd be very intriguing. Certainly when you start throwing in possibilities of maybe villains. I've read another article about this today, Stephen, where it suggests that maybe the Penguin will be the villain. We've seen this come up before. I've seen it come up before, that it's rumoured that the Penguin will have a role to play in this film. We've also seen potentially Deathstroke.
I'd love to see that.
Played by, I forget his bloody name, Stephen.
Joe
Manganiello or something.
Manganiello, yep.
So he's a great actor. He's obviously very much passionate about the character. He popped up at the end of, I believe it was the end credits for Justice League.
Yeah.
Batman v Superman, I can't remember which one.
Justice League.
He popped up for a brief cameo as Deathstroke. So depending on which villain they would choose for the film, it'd been very intriguing to see the detective side coming in. Obviously the Penguin's a bit more of a reclusive, slithering around in the shadows figure. Literally in that Batman sequel in the early 90s when it was, what do you call him, little guy?
Oh, Batman Returns,
Returns.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah, that was he's literally underneath the city. So you would have to utilise detective work to try and locate this guy in the first place. Whereas if it's Deathstroke, again, we've seen it in the likes of Arrow. It's a bit of a sleek figure as well, Stephen. So it'd be intriguing regardless of what. Maybe it could be the both, it could be Deathstroke and the Penguin. Depending on which villain, he certainly would have to utilise those detective skills just to get these guys out of the shadows and take them on in a fight. But I would love to see the detective side of Batman. It's something that's not been looked at anywhere near enough. And I love the character in general, so I cannot wait to see this bloody film coming out finally. I think I seen something the other day. It's now been about 3 or 4 years, maybe 3 years since Matt Reeves originally penned, or the original script was penned, and we're still not got it coming out. Also, we discussed it prior to the new year. There was hopes that we'd put the first draft of his script in for the new year, and we'd maybe see production and pre-production taking place very shortly thereafter. But of course, you have to now look at maybe recasting the character as well. There's a whole host of possible names in there, which I may get into.
I still keep my fingers crossed Ben Affleck's still
I'd
involved.
love to see Ben Affleck still
I know that before Matt Reeves came on board, John, Ben Affleck was going to direct. He wrote a script as well. It's supposed to be a very good, I think it might have been Kevin Smith that had to look at the said it's one of the best stories he's read in regards to it, and not just because Ben Affleck's his friend, but you know, he's a big comic book fan as well, Kevin Smith. But you're right, John. I do want to see this version of The Dark Knight. His main purpose in his origins was always being a detective. I would go as far as saying he's more of a comic book James Bond. You know, he's got all the gadgets, just like Bond has. And
he's a more realistic superhero comic book figure, Stephen. He's obviously a multi-billionaire. He's inherited all this wealth from his tragic family. His parents.
And listen, Christian Bale will always be my favourite iteration of the character, but that was because his arc was spaced over those three films. Batman Begins I watched the other night, John.
Yeah, it's an outstanding film.
Still love that film. It's a great origin story
for
as
me,
well.
Stephen, that really does rival The Dark Knight. A lot of people speak about The Dark Knight. I mean, it's an outstanding film just because of Heath Ledger. But
it has more of a connection to The Dark Knight Rises. They seem to leapfrog over The Dark Knight, and Dark Knight's more an isolated film.
It just seems to me, though, because of Heath Ledger, that a lot of people have overlooked Liam Neeson's Ra's al Ghul.
So, definitely,
an outstanding villain. Just the way he's introduced at the start, obviously training Bruce Wayne, and then the way he comes back into prominence at the end of the film.
You've got Falcone in there as well,
and you've got Kelly Murphy, Scarecrow. So that is a sublime film for me. That's probably one of my favourite Batman films in general. I just think it's outstanding, much better than Dark Knight Rises.
But it was more of a explanation on how Batman, developed his skills and stuff like that, you know, through the martial arts and stuff like that. But it wasn't really detective based, was it? It was more a sort of comic book. But listen, I'm looking forward to just seeing how this develops. Matt Reeves he's a fine filmmaker. You know, a great writer as well. And as I said, fingers crossed Ben Affleck's still involved. I'd like to see a couple of names here, him continue on his Dark Knight.
If you can't know, here's a couple of names for you from another article I'm reading that could potentially step in to perhaps play Bruce Wayne if indeed Ben Affleck is done with the character. I don't think he would be done with the character intentionally. I just think that the relationship between him and DC and Warner Brothers may have deteriorated and broken down so much that it's irreparable now, irredeemable, because of the way they treated him. I mean, apparently, as you did say, he had a fantastic script. Everybody that had an eye or a look at it says it was one of the most outstanding comic book scripts, just scripts in general. And the guy had the passion for the character. We know he's a big Batman fan, so it's really, really sad to see that he potentially is going to be walking away. But if he did walk away, Stephen, they're saying some of the names that could maybe pop up would be the likes of Scott Eastwood, the son of the fantastic Clint Eastwood. Proven over the last few years that he's a very much a fantastic actor. He's popped up a whole
I think he's got the look for it as well.
And the height is about 5'11", so I mean he can stick some lifts in his shoe, and he's very much hitting that 6'1" height of Bruce Wayne. I know these details, Stephen, because I'm a bit of a anal Gitman, things like that. Scott Adkins is another one. Richard Madden from Game of Thrones just won a Golden Globe Award.
I could see it,
very own Scotsman. I think he's from Perthshire. He's a brilliant actor. Maybe not in a similar vein to the likes of Scott Eastwood. I think he's a good actor, but we'll see. Listen, man, the possibilities are really endless. John Hamm was the other one that was floating around. Played Don Draper in Mad Men. He is another guy that's grown up watching and loving the Batman character. He's passionate about it. He expressed an interest in portraying Bruce Wayne. So I think
out of that list, John, I think John Hamm's probably the favourite, followed by Scott Eastwood. I never considered him for a moment, but I can actually see him playing Bruce Wayne.
You think of the atypical guy to play Bruce Wayne, though, Stephen, and John Hamm really does stand out. He's about 6'1". He's chiselled. He's got the full head of dark hair. He can wear a suit, so he can play the Bruce Wayne figure, and he's certainly got the physique to pop on the bat suit. Bat nipples. No bat nipples. Yeah, he can wear it, and he looked the part. So, look, I'll be very intrigued. I just can't wait to see where they go with this film. Who's going to come in terms of villains? Who's going to portray these villains? And who the hell is going to play Alfred? Because I've only seen 2 or 3 Alfreds in my lifetime, Stephen. I grew up with one that traversed the whole 90s. So,
is this a continuation of?
Well, it could be the same.
Or is it going to be a standalone like they're doing with the Joker?
Well, that was another thing, Stephen. I didn't read the article, but the headline was, "Could the Batman film save DC's extended universe?" And I thought, I don't think it has to save it. I think Aquaman and Wonder Woman have already done that. But how they're going to integrate this new Batman, if indeed it's going to be a new Batman, in with that is another question for another day, Stephen. But I'm very intrigued to see where they're going to take this, where Matt Reeves is going to take it. The quality of the screenplay, who he's going to get in, and seeing perhaps more of a detective side in the character, right up my street.
We'll just move on to our next article. John, this came in from The Guardian, and it was in regards to Martin Scorsese to direct a new Netflix Bob Dylan film called Rolling Thunder Revue, I think it's called.
Revue.
This isn't. I was going to say this is a follow-on from No Direction Home from 2005, but it isn't. It's got no connection to that other than its subject. No Direction Home, as we know, was more of a biography of Bob Dylan's birth, his hometown, and his
Minnesota.
Yes, his steady sort of rise to fame right up to the mid-60s, up to I think the motorcycle accident from 1966. I think it was. I might be wrong. 65, 66. Right, and that's where it ended. This film is more isolated. It's taking place
in the mid-70s.
Yeah, 75 to 76. I think it is May 76. And it's probably one of the most sort of famous sort of points in the man's career at that point anyway. He was jumping about with a white face. Face paint, you know.
And there's a bit of symmetry in there, Stephen, because obviously in No Direction Home, he's going on about Duluth, Minnesota, his childhood. George Washington and Abraham Lincoln with black faces, 4 blocks this way, 4 blocks that way. Doesn't make much sense.
I got what he meant though.
Yeah. Just a small town, just vibe, and just people just such small mindsets and no real get up and go in their life. Whereas this guy had so much energy, so much get up and go. To the extent, Stephen, that he left his home, went off to New York at such a young age and really went for it. So I've got nothing but respect.
Those kind of memories stuck with him. To be fair, but it does say in the article, John, that the Rolling Thunder Revue was a freewheeling multi-artist caravan that began in October 1975 and concluded in May 1976. Just like I said, I was only 4 months old when it concluded, so I don't remember this. Artists include Joni Mitchell, Joan Baez, Mick Ronson.
Mick Ronson,
fantastic guitarist.
Fantastic guitarist,
Bette Midler was in there. Roger McGinn from the Byrds, I think. Emmylou Harris and Allen Ginsberg.
What an ensemble of actors are.
Definitely, yeah.
Especially actors and musicians, Stephen.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is something that intrigues me. Not just because it's Bob Dylan, but because it's Martin Scorsese. You know, I thought he did a great job on No Direction Home. It was a documentary. I've actually not seen it in a couple of years, but when it first came out, I saw it in the cinema. I got the DVD release when it came out. You got the book.
I did get the book,
sort of coincided with
and
the
it was
release.
An absolutely sublime book, Stephen, and it showed you just the attention to detail they went into in this man's life, just going back and combing through every single intricate little detail of the man. Absolutely fascinating figure. Just getting to read about what really made this guy who he was, even as you said, from a young age, from his school years right all the way up, learning about him leaving Duluth and getting off, learning about his family and just how they weren't really content with it at the start, but then they got on board with it, and just the whole host of interesting characters that popped into what shaped the man. I cannot wait to see this, Stephen, as you did say.
We were talking about the man on our podcast not long ago in regards to another film based on his Blood in the Tracks 1975 album, John. Can't remember.
Guadagnino.
Yeah, that was the man.
Yeah, Suspiria.
There's still interest in Bob Dylan out there. You know, I know that he's not as at the forefront as he once was, but the man's an absolute legend. He's still touring. And I hope
he gets a #1 hit in this decade, Stephen, to keep that record going. From the 1960s, he's had consecutive #1 hits in every decade, so there's not many, if any.
The other good thing about this documentary that's getting made is that Bob Dylan's mother is going to, it must be archival footage now obviously, but that will be interesting to see, because you don't really get to see a lot of the man's private life. I think he's a very private person. I know that his son, I can't remember his son's name now, he's a very successful songwriter, artist as well. But as far as that goes, I don't really know too much about Bob Dylan, the sort of private side to him.
Well, he was actually more extroverted as a young man and a teenager than you would believe, Stephen. Looking at him when he rose to prominence, he looked an almost shy and kind of a awkward guy, but he really wasn't. He was a very extroverted guy.
I always felt he was very comfortable in press conferences, John. Though. He was able to handle.
I think that was the marijuana, Stephen. He was permanently stoned out. He's not in the 60s. Also introduced the Beatles to Hash.
So Ringo says,
Yeah, and I believe him. I do believe him. You recall that video of him and John Lennon behind in the back of a car?
That was surreal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was even more surreal for John. I think that was the first time
he was quiet. He was very quiet. John Lennon being very quiet.
That's a very rare thing indeed. I think he was just in awe of the man that was sitting next to him. There's not many people to leave John Lennon in awe, but he was certainly one. Look, Stephen, we've seen Martin Scorsese as well with Living in the Material World. That fantastic George Harrison documentary.
The Rolling Stones one as well.
Right. So this is a guy who knows how to do musical-based documentaries, and he knows how to do them very well. He will get this right. It's partly going to focus on the year of 1975-76 as a whole, just how it was shaping America and stuff like that, the climate and the political landscape and stuff, just what this guy and this touring group of incredible ensemble musicians, what they brought to the various towns that rocked up them. So
yeah,
it's going to be a very interesting just study of the year itself and just the man and just the music.
Yeah, I don't know if it's got a release date, John. I know that he's still working on this Irishman movie with Robert De Niro.
Post-production by now, surely.
It's been on for such a long time. I know that it's a lot of work involved in the de-aging of these legendary actors, Joe Pesci,
I think
Robert
the
De Niro,
budget's spiralled in that film as well. I think it's
a Netflix release as well, isn't it?
So I think it's over $200 million the budget.
I think it's going to be a massive year for Netflix, though.
Yeah, man, you look at the films.
Some of the trailer reactions we've been doing over the last few days as well, John.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big year for him, and this is another coup for him to have a Bob Dylan documentary at that specific time in his life as well. One of the highlights of his career.
Yeah, he was switching to electric, away from the classic folk origins, and a lot of people weren't happy, including Joan Baez or whatever.
Yeah,
was with him.
I don't think she's ever forgot it, has she?
No, she has to realise that she's touring with a man of actual genius, a man that was nominated. Don't know if he accepted that Nobel Prize for writing or literature. A lot of people weren't happy, but this is an incredible man. He's not going to get shoehorned into a specific...
He's a one-off, isn't he?
Yeah, a specific genre or specific type of music. He's going to go off and do his own thing. You either move from where you get left behind.
Well, we're going to move on and do our own thing with the next article, John, and it's one that's shaking your head a little bit.
Shaking everybody's head, Steve.
Apart from Eddie Murphy, that is. This is a headline coming in from Independent in regards to Eddie Murphy is to return to... coming to America as Prince Hakeem, Prince of Zamunda, in the upcoming sequel. Eddie Murphy's actually quoted in the article here saying that he's very happy with the storyline, the script, etc. We're going to get to see the likes of Arsenio Hall, Shara Headley, John Amos and James Earl Jones all coming back for this sequel. I'm going to say this is going to be an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
But listen, if it's not, I will eat my words, and I don't mind doing that because I loved the original movie.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's one of the all-time greats from the 1980s. I reviewed this, I think, mid last year. I went on a bit of a retro review spree, and this was one that cropped up. Not just because of Eddie Murphy, but Arsenio Hall. I think he's one of Americans' finest comedians. The man looks great for his age and all. He doesn't look like he's aged as well. He appeared in that Adam Sandler film that I reviewed, the Sandy Wexler, I think it was called, I can't remember. He was in that. It looked like he just stepped off the set of Come to America, not aged. You get James Earl Jones playing the King of Zamunda, his dad.
Always great to see James coming back.
And will we see, has McDowell's expanded out into Europe and that,
well,
with the Big Mick?
Yeah, the Big Mick.
Yeah. I thought that was great. I thought it was genius.
It was. It was hilarious. It was a great way to get round also. I was about to say copyright for McDonald's. I'm not having it. They were allowing that to go though.
But they were the Golden Arcs.
They were the Golden Arches. Look, Stephen, absolutely.
It's not the same thing.
It's not. No. Big Mick and Big Mac.
Those tartan
wearing
uniforms.
The same tartan uniforms. Come on, what is going on there? They'd have been sued to hell. I'll tell you that.
Excuse me,
Did
but
they have their own clown?
I just felt Randy Watson as well. Will
Randy
he make a
Watson.
comeback?
Oh, he has to come back. Stephen, I wasn't looking forward to this film initially. You've just sparked some interest in me, man. Could we see a 21st century version of Randy Watson? Jesus Christ, what's he looking like now? Is he still wearing that baby blue suit? Has he still got an even bigger gut now?
I think he's got a corset on now.
What has happened to Sogo in the ensuing years? What has happened? There's a whole host of Darryl. Is he still sipping on his coffee?
Samuel Jackson will turn up as well.
He could,
Maybe he's a reformed character in it.
Yeah, maybe he's playing, There's a whole host of unanswered questions.
Sounds terrible, doesn't it?
It does sound terrible, but look, I'd love to see it be a success, Stephen. I really would. I'm a big fan of Eddie Murphy. The guy was a genuine funny guy back in the 90s and the 80s. He was one of the funniest guys in the world.
Definitely,
No danger. And he had a great hit of consistently brilliant films throughout that period. He's went to crap though. His career has just been shocked to complete oblivion in the last 10, 15, 20 years.
That happens to them all.
It does happen.
Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, it happens to them all.
Adam Sandler, he just cannot remain funny. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
The likes of, as you said, Steve Martin and Chevy Chase just disappeared in the 1990s.
Steve
Martin went off and done the likes of Father of the Bride, though, to be fair. He went into the war.
Had a little bit of a sort of comeback, you know, but
not much.
It does, you know, humour changes over the years. It seems to be more darker, more grittier.
I don't see them going for looking for a woman thing and going through the whole dating process in this one. I don't think they'll touch that with a basketball with all those precious little petals out there, obviously. I don't like to go into those sort of subjects. You can't offend people these days, Stephen. You can't say anything these days. Look at Kevin Hart. Apologise for jokes that happened 10 years ago and he's still getting hammered into an living. We'll not go there. We won't go there. I don't in any way condone what he said in those tweets. Totally out of order, but come on, the guy apologised. Let him live his life, as he did say. If you apologise, you have to grow as a person, and how do you grow? By making mistakes and learning from them. But look, I digress, I'm getting sidetracked off into a completely different tangent story there, Stephen.
What were we talking about again?
We were talking about coming to America too, Stephen. I'd love to see Arsenio Hall and just the likes of Eddie Murphy coming back, Stephen. That's a totally different character. Maybe Eddie Murphy can create that character. Eddie Mercury.
That'd be interesting,
But look, just seeing all these interesting characters coming back, that's one redeeming side. The fact they are getting a whole host of the original cast back. They've got a good writer in there as well, Stephen, though. The guy that done Girls Trip, I believe it's Kenya Barisi. It's a very good screenwriter. And they're getting the original guys back, Barry Bluestein and David Sheffield as well. So they're getting the right people on board here. Girls Trip, it wasn't really received well by the audience, but it got a fantastic rating, 90% by Rotten Tomatoes.
Now they can bring all these elements back, John, but where do you take the character, you know?
Well, this is it.
I know that I've read an idea.
A long-lost son in Zamunda.
The reason for that is because I think it sort of...
Will they return to Queens?
It black marks the Prince Hakeem character right away, that he's got a long-lost son he probably doesn't know about. It didn't work with Crocodile Dundee, didn't work with Indiana Jones, and there was another one I said as well. I can't remember, but using the whole son thing, the Mummy Returns, they introduced the annoying little brat, and no, it doesn't work for me.
Look, if they can do it in an organic way where it's going to weave into the story and it's not going to have a detrimental effect on said that very posh there.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Detrimental effect on the original film, then I'm happy for this to happen. But look, I say it time and again, I don't want them affecting self-contained stories that I think are just absolute cult classics.
I'll ask you a question, John. Dumb and Dumber 2, regardless of what you might think of it, has it ruined your enjoyment of the original movie?
No, it hasn't. I actually enjoyed Dumb and Dumber 2. It was nowhere near as good as the original, but that's just a classic comedy, Stephen. But probably my favourite comedy of all time. So, but no, it's not ruined my enjoyment. So, if they can do something similar, they can get even close to maybe the heights of a Dumb and Dumber 2, and then they're doing very well. I'm not totally adverse to it because, look, the film came out 30 years ago now, 31 years ago, 32 years ago, so they can do it, and it's maybe going to be for a new generation of people, and they can perhaps introduce them to the new, or the old coming to America. So if it can introduce a whole new generation to that classic film, then I'm happy. But look, Eddie Murphy's shot now, man, so I've not got high hopes for it, but they're getting the right people in at least. And it'll be intriguing to see him and Arsenio Hall teaming up once again.
What's Eddie Murphy got to lose?
Absolutely nothing.
We'll just finish off this week's edition of Movie Burner News with our traditional poll, John, of the week. And the simple question was, which of these 4 brilliant Christian Bale performances is the best?
The Machinist.
And according to some, the 4 choices, because you can only get 4 on Twitter, so we don't really have a choice in that. But Rescue Dawn from 2006 got 5%, American Psycho from 2000 got 60%, The Fighter from 2011 got 26%, and The Big Short from 2015 got 9%. I went with American Psycho. That's probably his most iconic performance out of those. The Fighter was a great film as well.
It was an absolutely sublime film, Steve.
Was that Mark Wahlberg that was in that?
Mark Wahlberg, I think he won an Oscar.
It was a fantastic movie.
Christian Bale, that is.
And Rescue Dawn, we were talking about this before we came on there, John. I reviewed this last year as well. I thought it was a thoroughly enjoyable film.
It's an underrated one, Stephen.
But in this case, it's not really a Christian Bale movie out and out. I think he's more of a master of ceremonies in this film. He kind of holds the sort of more interesting characters together. Bit of a Marty McFly, if you like, you know. He's just sort of the audience member in the film, but it was a great film. And The Big Short, I think you reviewed this one.
I did, yeah. The Michael Burry character, he played an autistic or a guy with Asperger's. He was really the soul of the human of humanity of that film, I should say. and a film which was just littered with money grabbing and just selfish and egotistical gits, also trying to cash in by shorting, I think it was. I've not seen it in a while, but it was a terminology where they could basically pick up things cheap and sell them off at a profit, and just also it goes into the whole crash in the financial industry back in 2008, as you said, Stephen, a couple of days ago. I think we were discussing it because we were talking about Vice on the Blog Rundown.
Right, yeah.
He was sublime in that, absolutely sublime, alongside a fantastic cast of the likes of Marissa Tomei, Ryan Gosling, Steve Carell, and Brad Pitt's in there as well. He was really good in that. American Psycho, I picked American Psycho too, Stephen, for a pure and simple reason that is the best performance out of those four. Patrick Bateman, he just plays an absolute psychopath. American Psycho, it's in the title, but it's just the way, Stephen, that he does portray like a kind of a normal figure. He's quite a charismatic and maverick figure, but then when he gets into private settings, he's just a complete psycho.
Yeah.
But you connect with him. It's strange. You actually like the guy despite.
Be careful what you're saying, John.
You like the guy despite him being a complete nutcase. There's something about him, and that's because of Christian Bale.
This is the film I felt. I'm not going to say turned his career, but as you recall, he was a child actor.
Yeah.
Empire of the Sun from 1987, which was a fantastic film, and he was great in that as well as a kid. But this is the film that really, for me anyway, this is the film that made me take notice of Christian Bale as an adult actor, and what a performance it was as well. And he's not looked back since that film, you know.
He hasn't.
And it was a great film as well. Quite shocking at times, but
very violent.
But his performance in it really, you know, made me stand up and take notice of what was to come.
And Dickie Eklund as well in The Fighter, alongside, as you did say, Mickey Ward and Mark Wahlberg, Amy Adams, playing a kind of a reformed heroin figure who trains, I believe it's his younger brother, and he's absolutely outstanding. I'm pretty sure he won Best Supporting Actor or something like that. I'm sure he won an Oscar for his performance in that film. I may be wrong, he certainly was nominated anyway. He was fantastic in that as well, and it just again shows you the man's dedication, going right into these characters. He was shaving in his head and losing weight again to play this reformed heroin figure. Rescue Dawn, as you did say, Stephen, you reviewed it. That's a very underrated, under the radar film. He also played Dieter Dengler. It was running out of time here, so I need to get this in very quickly, Stephen. But he also played, it was like World War II, I believe, and they dropped down into the jungle setting in Japan. And again, a fantastic performance. We can't fit every Christian Bale performance in there, sadly. That's just not possible. So sadly for the people that were shouting The Machinist and whatnot, can't fit it in. Well, maybe we'll in another poll someday. He's been in that many good films. It's possible. But look, Stephen, I'll let you end the show because we are running out of time here.
We'd just like to thank everybody for voting in our weekly poll. And listen, we'll be back again tomorrow with the Movie Burner Blog Rundown.